Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Montana This Morning. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2015. I'm Victoria Hill.
That's right.
Was I right?
No matter what it said on the bottom of the screen.
My memory was tested. I never ever pay attention to the date until I get down on the set. But yes, today is indeed Tuesday, June 2nd, not Monday, June 1st.
That's
okay,
right.
Let's move along here, Ed. I think weather is on everybody's mind because it might have kept them up last night.
That's right, yeah. Now we started to see the sky clear out, and a look with the first interstate eye cam, and there's a look at the full moon. It's the full strawberry moon.
Is that the real name of it?
That's what they, that's what they call it. You know, like here's your harvest moon. This is the strawberry moon today. So, but that's a clear indication that the sky started to clear out. Clear indication. Partly cloudy, 53 right now, just a little bit of a southwest breeze. But look at the humidity at 93%. Patrick just reported from around the Molt area where they have some areas of fog down to a quarter-mile visibility. It was his report a few minutes ago. So thanks for that. Showers, thunderstorms starting to wind north of us now. You see that from Jordan winding up towards the north. So still some pockets of some very heavy rain, some lightning strikes still involved with that. Last night we saw some potential, we saw areas of flash flooding. We saw hail up to about an inch and a quarter in size. Frequent lightning with a lot of the storms. Readings in the 50s, 60s now, and across the rest of the state, not as warm into the western part of the state, but still 40s and 50s. But you can see that line of showers or thunderstorms continue to lift north of us. As we get through the day today, we're going to start to pick up that chance of a shower or thunderstorm as we get later in the afternoon. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, and I also wanted to mention we did get a lot of photos from our viewers over in the Hardin area. If we can start pulling those up there. I guess the viewer called and said that he recorded in his rain gauge just I'm not saying just, but 2 inches of rain in just 35 minutes. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. There were some really heavy pockets of rain around that area towards Pompey's Pillar. We had a report of an inch of rain around Harleton in about a 15-minute period there. Some areas where we had some hail as well. It was actually some smaller hail. It stacked up pretty good. And then around the Red Lodge area, hail up to about an inch in size. So if you have some weather pictures you want to share, you can send them to us at weather@ktvq.com.
Okay, and also one of my friends inboxed me on Facebook this morning saying he lives in Hardin, saying that his room got flooded. So
oh yeah, well those pictures pretty good indication that there were some definitely some flooding going on, and we'll be watching areas to the north of us as well. So especially if you're in northeastern Montana, share your stories up there and let us know what's going on.
Okay, so weather, the big news today, but we've got some other news on hand, so I'll get on over to that.
And I'll get out of the way.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, Victoria.
We begin with national news this morning. Here are a few stories to keep your eye on. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson is directing the TSA to retrain officers and retest security equipment following a brutal Inspector General report. Federal investigators disguised as passengers were able to sneak dangerous items past airport screeners 67 times in 70 attempts. Undercover agents smuggled mock explosives, weapons, and potential bomb components through TSA checkpoints. And meanwhile, the fate of a House-approved bill to reform the National Security Agency's controversial surveillance program is still unclear. Today, Senate lawmakers are expected to vote on amendments to the bill, which could then send the measure back to the House before it goes to President Obama. Amid the gridlock, some of the agency's surveillance methods remain on hold for a second day. The White House maintains the lapse in a danger to national security. Turning to local crime news, police are searching for 2 armed robbery suspects who took money from a casino and the patrons inside near downtown Billings. It happened late last night, just before 11 o'clock at Gabby's Casino on 5th Street West. Witnesses say 2 males entered the casino with handguns and demanded money from an employee and patrons in the gambling room. Both males took off on foot with the cash. When police arrived, they were unable to identify or locate any suspects. We're told both suspects appear to be about 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed around 200 pounds. One suspect appeared to be a Caucasian male in his 20s with blonde hair. No injuries were reported, and anyone with any information is urged to contact the Billings Police Department. Now here's a follow-up to the tragic story of a young boy who lost his life after drowning in a culvert. The Yellowstone County coroner has identified the young Billings boy as 5-year-old Tristan Hunt. He fell into a ditch and became trapped in a culvert on Friday. Now friends of the family are coming together trying to help any way they can. A small memorial has started to form at Placer Drive and Teton Avenue, the location where Hunt was found. The 5-year-old, who was originally from Pennsylvania, was diagnosed with a condition called Russell-Silver syndrome, which is a form of dwarfism. Family friends are organizing a Tristan Hunt Memorial Fund at First Interstate Bank, and they will hold a car wash next weekend. We have a full listing of events to help the Hunt family on our website at KTVQ.com. Tristan's funeral will be held on Friday. Looking into our economy, energy production in Montana has a new player. The PPL Corporation is no longer operating in this state. Talen Energy has taken over all of the PPL assets in Montana, including Colstrip power generating stations. Talen must also now dismantle the Corrette power plant here in Billings. This will make Talen Energy one of the largest independent power producers in the U.S. Talen Energy will begin trading on the New York Stock Exchange today, and CEO Paul Farr will ring the opening bell. And there's good news for the wallets of Northwestern Energy customers. The company is projecting lower rates for customers. The company has filed its annual electricity supply cost tracker, and lower rates could begin next month. Northwestern Energy anticipates the price of electricity, combined with more accurate overall costs, will lead to a price drop. The drop will be close to 3.5% or $3.10 per month. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on Montana this morning. Coming up in a few minutes, a disaster overseas. Panicked family members in China await updates as a ship carrying more than 400 capsized. It's now 54 degrees here in downtown Billings, and the time is now 5:37. But up next, Ed will have a look at today's weather forecast.
Temperatures warming up into the 70s for an afternoon high, running about 10 degrees cooler than it did yesterday. Still a chance of some showers or thunderstorms as we get later in the day. Sunset getting a little bit later at 8:57 p.m. tonight, but don't wait until sunset. Today's the day to leave the office early.
Ha! I don't think that happens around here.
I don't think so.
Especially in our profession.
Yeah.
Stay until the work is done and ready for the next day, right, Russell? Especially this man.
I don't
He's
know
thinking about it.
I've skipped out a lot here of late.
He's
Some things on my
physically
plate,
here, but sometimes no.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true on any given day. But nah, I'm lucky enough to kind of have a profession where I come and go and still manage to get things done.
And you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give a quick round of applause to Ed because he predicted the weather correctly. Now that is a weatherman.
Well,
Not
there we
everybody
go.
can do
One
that.
day out of 365. Yes.
Well, he had a 50% chance of getting it right.
Yeah.
I
he
mean,
flipped
come
a
on,
coin.
right?
No, but good job, Ed. I was very impressed. I went to the zoo yesterday and I was a little worried it was going to hit when I went at 3 o'clock and it's like, oh, no, 5:36. And I'm like, okay. Bam, 5:30 starts rolling in. So good job,
You did
Ed.
too.
All right, Russell, what do you have coming up for us?
We're going to talk about some meetings that are regarding wild bison that are happening across the state this week, and we'll tell you about a couple stock grower meetings happening here in Montana and down the road in Wyoming.
Okay, we'll be listening for that bison.
All right. Russell has a 50-50 chance of getting those news headlines right. Let's go.
Right.
You can dish it, so can I, mister. Here we go. This is where we had the storm reports from yesterday. Basically southern half of Montana, and each of these little dots indicates somewhere where we had reports of damaging winds. We had hail. In some cases, especially for you around Red Lodge, just north of town, up to about an inch and a quarter in size. Some areas of flash flooding, including around Blue Creek, and then the pictures we showed you also from around Hardin. Over into central North Dakota, they actually had a couple of funnel clouds there. They didn't do any harm. It's that rain and all that wind that really hurt things. So this line of showers or thunderstorms is starting to form here now along the northern edge of the state. Still seeing some lightning strikes out of this. And here comes the green and the yellow shades again. Indications that we still have some potential for some stronger storms by this afternoon and this evening. Yesterday, we didn't have this highlighted quite as bright, but now that we've got all this moisture in the air, with clearer sky in the morning lets things warm up just enough to start to produce some of those storms, especially south of Billings as we start looking into this afternoon and this evening. So again, we'll be watching the evening sky. That's partly because we have this system continuing to pull up some energy. Lots of available moisture. So the showers or thunderstorms formed right along this cold front for today, and some of that will push down towards us during this afternoon and this evening, popping up a few more of those storms. Showers, thunderstorms, especially with all of the moisture that's available. We could see some more pockets of some heavy rain. That'll clear through the area. And then Wednesday, Thursday, still some scattered showers or thunderstorms. Temperatures running at or a little cooler than average for this time of the year as we continue to feed a little more moisture in through the end of the work week. So hit and miss showers, thunderstorms will continue to develop through most afternoons. Today running about 10 degrees than it was yesterday, cooler. Still some potential for thunderstorms this afternoon, and then areas of fog tomorrow morning, morning, and we're also looking at some areas of fog even here this morning. Temperatures are into the 40s, 50s to the western part of the state. There's that line of showers or thunderstorms at readings 50s to 60s. Glendive at 61, 62 in Williston, but those showers or thunderstorms also continuing to move up, so the cloud covers held up the readings. Readings today 60s, 70s, and again, shaded areas show potential for slightly stronger storms by later in the day, and that will also be true into the western Dakotas. Highs today into the 60s to 70s, scattered area showers and thunderstorms. Some could have some pockets of some heavier rain. In our extended forecast, 70 to 75 for a high today. Mix of clouds and sun, then 60s to about 70. It might be a struggle to even hit 70 degrees the next couple of days, but warmer and drier air towards the weekend. 5:44, time to turn to Russ with a look at Farm and Ranch news.
Thank you, Ed, and good morning, everyone. Well, the state of Montana, along with the National Park Service, are jointly preparing a Yellowstone area bison management plan, along with that environmental impact statement. The purpose, they say, of the plan and EIS is to conserve a wild and migratory population of Yellowstone area bison while minimizing the risk of brucellosis transmission between these wild bison and livestock to the extent practicable. Now, the comment period runs through June 15th. Public scoping meetings will be held today in Bozeman at the Hilton Garden Inn, tomorrow in Gardner at the school, and this Thursday in West Yellowstone at the Holiday Inn. For more details about these 3 meetings this week, including what time they start, you can just visit us online at northernag.net and check out the Ag News headlines. And just a reminder that coming up a little bit later this week, bison, sage grouse, water, and a host of other big ag issues will be discussed and probably cussed just a little bit as stock growers in both Montana and Wyoming meet for their summer meetings. The Montana stock growers will have its mid-year meeting this Thursday through Saturday in Bozeman. Headquarters there this year, MSU's Animal Bioscience Facility. Our network's Lane Nordland will be covering that one. And I'll be in Sheridan this Friday for the Wyoming Stock Growers Association's annual summer convention at the Holiday Inn. And from there, I'll work my way down to Laramie for the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters convention. So should be a lot of fun for our network these next couple of days. With that, let's go ahead and take a look back at some of the ag markets. Still awful quiet out there in cash cattle land. Same really could be said for local market activity. We'll have some new numbers to report today at noon, but a few days ago out of BLS, cow-calf pairs topping at 32.85. Yesterday, the cash hog markets still at 53 up to 55 cents. Finished lambs 165 to $1.68. But hey, some good news in the grain markets, at least this morning. A little bit of green out there. July winter wheat up 15 at 513. Spring wheat's up nearly 4 at 551. And corn futures at 352 and some change. That's a look at your ag markets. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up next.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is now 5:50, and take a look at that beautiful sunrise over the city of Billings following last night's rough storm. Let's take a look at a few stories from around the world. We begin with the situation that's unfolding in China as we speak. A desperate rescue effort is underway on the Yangtze River after a ship capsized during a storm. At this hour, hundreds of passengers are missing. The wait is agonizing for family members of people on board the ship. At the Shanghai Travel Agency, where many passengers book their trips, signs with updates are now posted for grieving relatives. At least 6 survivors have been pulled out of the water, but 458 people were on board. In Washington, D.C., Samantha Eloff won her case against clothing retailer Abercrombie & Fitch. Eloff is a Muslim and says the store denied her a job because she wears a headscarf for religious reasons. A federal law requires employers to reasonably accommodate workers' religions or disabilities. Abercrombie & Fitch argued Eloff didn't ask the company for a religious accommodation, but the court said she didn't have to do that. Since this Equal Employment Opportunity Commission case was filed, Abercrombie has changed its look policy to allow headscarves. And last, here's further proof that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Art students at a Brazilian university are creating art from piles of trash polluting a bay along Rio de Janeiro. Around 30 students used plastic bottles, tires, old flip-flops, scratch CDs, and other found items to make sculptures of ocean fauna. Olympic sailing events are to be held next year. In today's business news, boarding a plane can be the most frustrating part of a trip. Jill Wagner tells us what one airline is doing to ease up the pain.
Takata says it will replace the chemical ammonium nitrate in its faulty airbags. It could burn too fast if exposed to moisture. The Japanese manufacturer recalled nearly 34 million vehicles with those airbags, now linked to at least 6 deaths. Regal and AMC, the nation's 2 biggest movie theater chains, are under investigation by the Justice Department over anti-competitive conduct. Big theater companies have been criticized for making agreements with studios to keep movies out of competing locations. Both companies deny any wrongdoing. Nestle says it will remove artificial flavors in 250 of its frozen pizza and snack brands, including DiGiorno, Tombstone, and Hot Pockets. Nestle will also reduce sodium in its pizzas and snacks by 10%. The company says it won't impact the taste. And Delta wants to streamline the boarding process. The airline is testing a program called Early Valet. Airline employees would preload carry-on bags, putting them above passenger seats before they board the plane. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, follow me on Twitter at Jill Wagner CBS. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jill Wagner.
The time is now 5:53, and I absolutely love it when we have a live shot out of North Carolina, because that's when my friend Ed here does his impression.
That's right. Let's take a look from North Carolina. I have some friends over there.
Give us the molasses line.
Yeah, it's like molasses on the tongue. Raleigh.
Yes.
We'll take a look at our forecast here in just a moment. Thunderstorms. We're still seeing this line that's pushing up into northern Montana this morning and wrapping some of that heavier rain around for you from Jordan north towards Glendive, pushing up towards Williston this morning. Behind it, most of the storms were through southern Montana last evening, and we have the potential for more strong to severe storms this afternoon and this evening in the shaded areas. Now, Billings in the green means marginal risk of strong to severe storms later in the day, but you start getting to, again, around Hardin, down towards Sheridan, through the northern part of Wyoming. Potential for strong to severe storms could redevelop, especially with all the available moisture that we have in the atmosphere. Cooler today. Highs will be into the 60s and 70s, replacing the 70s, 80s to around 90 degrees that we experienced in the eastern edge of the state. Was especially warm yesterday. Scattered area showers or thunderstorms are possible, and we already have those clouds and the potential for showers or thunderstorms in northern Montana. In our area, we'll be looking for the 60s to low 70s for the afternoon highs. Could be a little bit warmer from Sheridan, perhaps towards Broadus. Graybull, you could be into the 80s by later in the afternoon today with a mix of clouds and sun and a few of these stray showers, thunderstorms through the evening hours, especially by the time we start getting into tonight. And then across the region in our extended forecast, temperatures in the 70s today, 60s to about 70 in the next couple of afternoons, and pretty much any afternoon we can't shake that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Current conditions and headlines up after this.
Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Montana This Morning. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2015. I'm Victoria Hill.
And I'm Ed McIntosh. As we went through the night, we had a lot of heavy rain. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Right now, we got areas of fog to get started in the Billings area, and we could see that over the course of the next couple of days as we look with the first interstate ICAM. A bit of haze across the Billings area with 53 degrees, southwest wind, humidity at 93%. So you can run into areas of patchy fog today, again tomorrow. Some heavier rain continuing to lift north of us. And while we have 60 in Forsyth this morning, a mix of 40s, 50s around us, it will not warm up as much as yesterday. Most of the readings will be in the 60s and 70s, running about 10 degrees cooler than it was for Monday afternoon. Line of showers or thunderstorms continues to move up through northern Montana. Some pockets of some pretty heavy rain in the mix along with that, with readings today moving up into the mid to lower 70s. Today's also leave the office early day. Or pretty much leave work, I guess, anywhere you are.
Yeah.
A little bit early, but that may only be because we have more potential for some showers, thunderstorms, and we had some very heavy rain, not only around the Blue Creek area, the Harleton area, but in Hardin last night.
Yeah, take a look at these pictures that came in from viewers. One viewer said his rain gauge reached 2 inches in just 35 minutes. So that's pretty speedy rain that they had fallen there. So hope everybody's able to clean up and recover from that.
That's right. If you have more storm reports, you can always send them to us at weather@ktvq.com or post them on our Facebook page, and we'll make sure we're passing along. Love to get the pictures too.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate viewer photos because, hey, you guys are in the middle of it all, so send them on in.
That's for sure.
Okay, well, we've got quite a few news stories to read off, so I'll get to those, Ed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Victoria.
Our top story today, Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson is directing the TSA to retrain officers and retest security equipment following a brutal Inspector General report. Federal investigators disguised as passengers were able to sneak dangerous items past airport screeners 67 times in 70 attempts. Undercover agents smuggled mock explosives, weapons, and potential bomb components through TSA checkpoints. Meanwhile, amid growing pressure to restore recently expired parts of the Patriot Act, later this morning, the Senate will hold a vote. Mark Albert reports from Washington.
Senate lawmakers will again try to move forward on the House-approved USA Freedom Act while considering changes. One amendment would extend the amount of time the National Security Agency has to end bulk collection of phone records from 6 months to a year. But the NSA would still be able to search the records held by phone companies with a court order.
These fixes are common sense.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been at odds with fellow Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who blocked an extension of the Patriot Act on Sunday. On Monday, Paul said he would support changes to the House bill.
If we can come to an arrangement to allow amendments to be voted on, I'd be happy to allow my consent.
Any changes in the Senate, however, mean the House would have to vote again. Mark Albert for CBS News, Washington.
Republican leaders have already signaled they likely won't accept an amended bill. The White House says the president supports the House version of the USA Freedom Act. Now in local crime news, police are searching for 2 armed robbery suspects who took money from a casino and the patrons inside near downtown Billings. It happened late last night just before 11 o'clock at Gabby's Casino on 5th Street West. Witnesses say 2 males entered the casino with handguns and demanded money from an employee and patrons in the gambling room. Both males took off on foot with the cash. When police arrived, they were unable to identify or locate any suspects. We're told both suspects appeared to be about 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed around 200 pounds. One suspect appeared to be a Caucasian male in his 20s with blonde hair. No injuries were reported, and anyone with any information is urged to contact the Billings Police Department. And we have a follow-up this morning on the identity of the Billings woman who was struck and killed while crossing the street last week. Yellowstone County Coroner Bill Jones says 33-year-old Stacy Ann Hoovenen died of severe blunt force trauma on Thursday night. It happened on Bench Boulevard in the Heights near Walmart. Police say the 18-year-old driver in the pickup truck drove through a puddle, and because there was water on the truck's windshield, he could not see the victim. The driver of the truck and his passengers were unharmed. The accident remains under investigation. Now switching gears, Indian relay is one of America's oldest sports, and now it's coming to Billings this September. Indian relays date back over 400 years to when the horse was first reintroduced to Native American cultures. Warriors race bareback and leap from one galloping horse onto the other, and I must say personally, it's one of my favorite rodeo events. The championships will bring dozens of teams to Billings and is set to take place from September 17th to the 20th. And now before we get to break, I want to introduce a very special guest that we have here in studio. We have Sarah Calhoun, who's the founding owner of Red Ants Pants. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, well, we're working our way up to the big moment, the festival coming up in July.
Yes.
And I think people want to know, why do we have a big red ant on our set this morning?
Well, this is Red, one of our many red ants that is now gracing the state of Montana. It's a campaign to drum up some excitement about the festival, just very simple, putting red ants all over the state and iconic landscapes, and also partnering with some of our sponsors and businesses that we collaborate with.
Okay, very nice. And so if somebody were to spot one of these red ants, they should probably get the word out on social media, because it must be pretty exciting. They're not hidden, but they're scattered everywhere. So it's kind of an exciting, like finding an Easter egg or something when you see one, huh?
Exactly, and they're going to be moving all across the state too. So take a selfie, send it in to us. We have Facebook pages and Twitter and all that. Hashtag Red Ants Pant Ant.
Okay, very nice. And I also wanted to say I'm very excited. This is the first time I'm meeting you this morning, but you've accomplished so much, and the most recent was a trip to DC. So tell us how that went and why you were invited.
Yes, that was a fantastic honor. There was a small business leadership summit in DC where they selected 100 business owners from across the whole country for 3 days of discussions and panels and just an open dialogue with Obama's top advisors to see what they could better do to support small business in America. And it was really productive.
Okay, very nice. And I guess if we want to go back to the topic of the festival, and I think we might have some video from past festivals, but what's it like getting ready for such a big event? It's really turned into something huge.
Yes, a lot of details for sure. This is our 5th year going into it, July 23rd through 26th, based in White Sulphur Springs, Montana, of course. And last year we had up to 11,000 people on site, and it's in a rural cow pasture. Very authentic, good feel, good family, very family friendly. A lot of events for kids as well, and camping on site, everything you would possibly need.
Okay, excellent. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really do appreciate it. Is there anything else you wanted to tell the folks watching at home this morning?
The festival is a support of the Red Ants Pants Foundation in support of women's leadership, family farms and ranches, and rural communities. So all the funds go back to that.
Okay. All right. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck with the festival.
Thank you.
Well, stick with us here on Montana This Morning. Still ahead, if last night's lightning and thunder wasn't enough to keep you awake, we have amazing video from a dash cam in Mississippi. Let's just say one officer is counting his blessings. It's now 54 degrees here in downtown Billings, and the time is now 6:09. But first, today's ag and weather together. Then John Arneson will join us with your Road Watch report.
And welcome back to Montana This Morning, where it's time for Ag and Weather Together. And Ed, Governor Steve Bullock, along with the Agricultural Development Council, has announced the recipients of, get this, over $110,000 in grant funds through the Growth Through Agriculture program. In all, it looks like 7 agricultural businesses were awarded funds this year to help assist with their development and, of course, growth.
That's right. And one of those 7 projects is right here in our viewing area. The Story Mill, based in Laurel, received an $8,000 grant to help increase production and efficiency when they process oil seeds. The mill is focused on using locally grown specialty crops to process their seeds into cooking oil products, specifically safflower oil, and eventually expanding into flax oils.
Pretty cool. Now, the governor says when we all set out to create the Main Street Montana project, expanding access to local foods and fostering growth in the agricultural sector were the top priorities, and these funds will certainly help agriculture businesses grow and create jobs, which is good news for everyone.
That's right. The Agriculture Development Council will be accepting applications for its next round of GTA funding until September 15th. And to learn more, you just visit Montana Department of Agriculture's website.
Pretty easy. You just have to follow the link. So
that's right.
Great program offered by our friends up there in Helena at the Montana Department of Agriculture. Well, now it's time to learn more about this morning's road conditions with our very own John Arneson. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. This Road Watch update brought to you by Conlon's Furniture, bringing home style, quality, and value for over 75 years. Elysian Road is currently closed west of Maloney Lane and about 1,000 feet east of Interstate Avenue. Local access being provided just east of Interstate Avenue on Elysian Road. King Avenue East is under construction at the Calhoun Lane intersection. Traffic detours in place with access maintained for all King Avenue East businesses and residents. City of Billings Street and Traffic Division is closed 8th Avenue South from South 31st to South 33rd till this Thursday for street repairs. Detours will be in place. And Maloney Lane has a partial closure, both northbound and southbound traffic being flagged around the area. Currently, eastbound traffic is being detoured on a temporary access road into Josephine Crossing subdivision. Work across Maloney Lane will be completed 1/2 at a time. And finally, out in the Laurel area, East Railroad Street will be closed from eastbound North Road to Stockyard Road until Wednesday afternoon. Business access is being permitted through. That's a look at traffic. Stay with us. Got a lot more Montana This Morning coming up right after this.
As we watch areas of showers or thunderstorms to our north, you can still see some of those lightning strikes, especially here as we start looking into extreme northeastern Montana around the Scobie-Plentywood area. Some of that heavy rain pushing up towards Williston, Sydney. Some of that will be backing off over the US 2 area right along pretty much the Missouri River, just a little bit north of US 2. Now the shaded areas, we indicated this yesterday, if it's in green, a marginal chance of strong to severe storms and a slight chance in the yellow shaded areas, and while those don't sound like dramatically high chances, what it means is there's a good chance that somebody within that window is going to see some stronger storms again for this evening. There's still plenty of moisture around. We have areas of patchy fog this morning. That indication of all of those showers and thunderstorms to the north, a pretty good sign that there's still a lot of moisture to work with. So as we take it through the day today, some of those storms could develop over into the Dakotas, into northern Montana, and then here through south central and southeastern Montana. Particularly areas to the south and east of Billings will be prone to more storms for this evening. Fetch of moisture continues to move in. Temperatures will be cooler today. In fact, stay basically into the 60s to low 70s over the course of the next few afternoons. So we're going to be at or cooler than average over the course of the rest of the week. Now, once we get past this afternoon, here's Wednesday, a few stray showers or thunderstorms, mainly the 60s for the highs, and then 60s to around 70 on Thursday. And again, some scattered area showers as we continue to funnel in some moisture with temperatures just a little bit cooler. Well, certainly cooler than they have been yesterday, but cooler than average as well. Some potential for thunderstorms after we cool down today, then areas of morning fog possible again tomorrow. Temperatures this morning are into the 40s and 50s to as warm as 62 in Williston. You can see those showers or thunderstorms continuing to move up and across the region. So by the time we get through the afternoon today, we'll be looking at most of the area temperatures in the 60s and 70s, perhaps 70 to 75 in the Billings area. And in our extended forecast, a chance of a shower or thunderstorm lingers across the area pretty much every day for the next several days, right into the weekend.
Okay, we've got a few people celebrating their anniversaries and birthdays on this rainy day. We have Bill and Jan Bossert celebrating 10 years together this second day of June. Then Rick and Verdine White, happy 42nd anniversary.
And birthdays for today, we're going to kick it off with Paul Everett. David Whited is celebrating a birthday today. Craig Johnson's 47, and Amy Goltz, happy 34th.
Jeanette DeVries, happy birthday to you. Nancy Watkins is turning 75, and look who's turning 59 years young. Mr. Jack Boyer, who's our in-studio camera operator, Marcus's father. Happy birthday, Jack.
Oh, there he
There
is.
he is.
Hey, look at that.
Is that snow?
It's snow.
Ooh.
Snow drift.
Glad we're done with that season.
Well, knock on wood.
Knock on wood. It is raining and anything
Right.
can happen in Montana in June. Well, if you have a birthday or anniversary, send it on in. You can mail it to us. Go to ktvq.com or give us a call 252-5060-11. Well, I can speak from experience when I say that reading rocks. I do it all day, every morning.
Yes, you do.
But there's a program coming up this summer, a great program. You want to hear all about it. We have a special guest in studio to fill us in. We'll be right back after this break. The time's now 6:21. Good morning and welcome back. The time's now 6:24. Joining us in studio is Julie Whitworth with the Education Foundation for Billings Public Schools. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And you're here to talk about Reading Rocks. So tell us, what is that program all about?
Reading Rocks is our summer reading program. It's designed for kids to come into the parks and read with us over the lunch hour. We hold it in conjunction with the free lunch program, and we're in 5 Billings parks in the summer.
Okay, very nice. And I think it's important to also mention this really keeps the kids' minds going during that summer break, because I know it can get, I remember how it can get. So.
Yeah, well, everybody wants to enjoy summer, and some kids love to dive into a book, and other kids need to be encouraged, but reading really is a way to escape and have fun.
Okay, and there's exciting news on the part that the program was actually able to expand to some additional parks this summer, right?
Right. So we are at 5 area parks. This summer we will be at Pioneer Park on Thursdays, and that's a new location for us.
Okay.
So it's, you know, nobody needs to sign up to come to Reading Rocks. Just show up. We're there at noon from 12 to 1. We start off with a guest storyteller. Lots of times it's someone from the community, like a fireman, or Zoo Montana has been there, Billings Mustang players. And the guest storyteller starts with a wonderful story. It might be a community member that just enjoys reading to children. And after our story, everybody gets to go choose a book. And we have hundreds of books in the parks. So lots to choose from, and kids can usually find something that they're excited about. Then they read with a volunteer or a friend. And it is for 20 minutes we read. If you can read out loud, or you can read by yourself independently. And at the end of Reading Rocks, you get to take your book home.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
Kids get to build their own libraries and have books.
Okay, that's great. And you did mention the word volunteer. So none of this would be possible without volunteers. So if somebody out there watching right now is interested, what should they do to get signed up to become a volunteer?
They can get onto our website at efbps.org. We have a volunteer sign up right there on the website. If you don't have access to a computer, give us a call in our office, and we'll send you a volunteer form. And we look for anyone in the community to volunteer, anyone that loves reading with kids, high school kids up to retired citizens. It's over the lunch hour, so oftentimes people in the business community can come over for lunch and read with somebody.
Good point. Well, Julie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It sounds like a great program.
Thank you. It's a fun program.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, thank you so much, and we'll be right back after this break, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. The time is now 6:29, and as our director Rob Monaco pointed out to me, the haze is starting to lift above Billings, getting clearer and clearer as we get on into the morning. Let's take a look at a few stories from around the world. In China, a desperate rescue effort is underway on the Yangtze River after a ship capsized during a storm. At this hour, hundreds of passengers are missing. The wait is agonizing for family members of people on board the ship. At the Shanghai Travel Agency, where many passengers book their trips, signs with updates are now posted for grieving relatives. At least 6 survivors have been pulled out of the water. 458 people were on board. Meanwhile, in Colorado, as the trial for theater shooter James Holmes continues, jurors listen to a session from Holmes with a court-appointed psychiatrist. In it, Holmes explained why he considered the July 2012 shooting massacre a success, saying the homicide got him out of depression and gave him a purpose. Holmes also said he wanted to kill as many people as possible and to gain points, like in a video game. He said by killing 12 people, that meant he was worth more. In South Carolina, Senator Lindsey Graham became the 9th Republican to jump into the 2016 presidential race. He's hoping his hawkish stance on foreign affairs will carry him through. If that doesn't work, he can always lean on the fact that if he were elected, he'd be America's first bachelor president in 130 years. And last, a police officer in Mississippi was driving around early one morning when he caught an impressive sight. Now, this is video from the officer's dash cam. He says he was nearly blinded when this huge bolt of lightning struck the bridge in front of him. This amazing sight is pretty rare to catch lightning at such close range. The officer says he went back to the spot later and found a chunk of singed concrete. Ed, how's that for a close call?
I'd say that we showed the video, but we didn't play the audio.
You don't hear the officer going, ah!
That's it, yeah. He left that part out.
Oh my goodness. Hopefully they turned down my audio when I did that scream. That's pretty close call.
Anything. Yeah, that was a very close call.
He's a lucky man he wasn't a few seconds faster, because who knows?
And that's just a good reminder, too, because we do have these showers, thunderstorms that are developing. We had a lot of lightning with some of the storms last night, and that could be one of the biggest hazards that we'll see out of some of these storms.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take a look across the nation, because we've got really the busy area for today. Some showers, thunderstorm potential as we start looking into the mid-Atlantic states, into the deep south today. Some showers up towards the north into the New England states. But where you see these shaded pictures in yellow, that's an indication from the Storm Prediction Center that we still have the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms today, especially through southern Montana, south of Billings, through northern Wyoming, then off into the Dakotas. Some of these storms could develop. We still have some showers or thunderstorms along the northern tier of the state, right along the edge of where we have this cold front moving across the region. All the dotted areas show where so far, and we'll have more of these, we've had storm reports from last night varying from anything from flash flooding to areas of hail up to about an inch, a little bit, maybe an inch and a quarter in a few cases, some gusty winds through southern Montana, and of course now with that band of showers or thunderstorms across the northern part of the state, we'll probably get some more reports as well. Temperatures are into the 40s, 50s, a couple of low 60s with Glendive at 61, Williston at 62. You can see the system winding up, and some of the lightning strikes are starting to decrease. A lot of this will start to wind away from us this morning on our pinpoint high resolution forecast for today. TrueView forecast takes this round of showers and lifts it north, but even by this afternoon, potential for some showers or thunderstorms starts to move back into our area, and we could see some of those stronger storms develop through south central, southeastern Montana and northern Wyoming through this afternoon and this evening. So here it is about 6 o'clock. Some of these scattered area storms as we saw last evening. And then tomorrow some hit and miss showers or thunderstorms, but the risk of strong storms will start to diminish. We're still going to see some pockets of some heavy rain. It could start tomorrow with some areas of patchy fog. Temperatures today will be mainly into the 60s and 70s, replacing the 70s and mainly 80s across eastern Montana from yesterday. Again, those shaded areas show where some of the stronger storms could develop for this afternoon. Our high temperatures 60s and 70s by later in the day. Catching a little of that sun here early in the day will warm the readings up. Tomorrow we'll be lucky to get to 70 degrees. We'll stay The upper 60s to near 70 again on Thursday with scattered area showers or thunderstorms, and again a chance perhaps Friday evening for some showers or thunderstorms. 6:34, more after this on Montana This Morning.
Welcome back to Montana This Morning, everyone. The time's now 6:37, and this week's A Better You. Joey tells us that sometimes the healthiest choice may be to stop what you're doing and just take a time out.
Hi everybody, it's Joey, and I have to admit a fault of my own. I tend to say go, 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 be inspired, be motivated, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. I don't make a lot of time or room for taking time out. And if you're not taking time out, soon chances are you're gonna burn out.
Yep.
I work in a hospital with nurses and doctors and people that are constantly giving of themselves. And Brian Carpenter is here with me today to talk about your effort and your outreach to people that are giving of themselves and maybe need some time out.
Yeah. Burnout's a reality, Joey, and one of the things we love about you and love about the things that you're doing is getting people going, exercise, health, fitness, eating good, which is great. But when you're in a sector of life that you're constantly giving out rescue missions, missionaries, pastors, doctors, so many people are digging wells in Africa. There's so much work there that we keep on asking ourselves at Refuge Foundation, who's taking care of those who are taking care of others? Who's blessing the blessers? Who's serving the servants? Yeah. And so, a big part of that is just taking care of them. So we got a week away here in Montana, the Big Sky Country, which we all got to take advantage of being here, being up in the mountains, being out in nature and water. And so we get leaders, bring them together, let them talk together, share life, open up their souls to one another, and give them a place to retreat.
So if I knew somebody that was showing signs or symptoms of burnout and they wanted to contact you, how would they do that? If they wanted to kind of participate in that retreat a little bit.
Yeah, the best way to do that would be to go to our website, www.refugefoundation.org. They'll get all the information, frequently asked questions, how to get somebody signed up on a trip, and it'd be great to keep an eye open for people in your life who are doing great things, including yourself, and helping them be blessed by Refuge Foundation.
Sometimes we tend to notice the plank in other people's out. Yeah, man, you're showing signs of burnout.
Yeah.
When really, I'm the one that needs a break.
Yeah.
So take a break out there. We can't be perfect, but we can all be better. We'll see you next time on A Better You.
The time is now 6:39, and Ed, before I go and take a break, I must say my favorite way of taking a break is going up and escaping into the Bighorn Mountains. It works miracles. You just get away from the city, you can breathe in the fresh air and get away from all the noise. What's your favorite way to take a break?
I'm going to have to try the bighorns, I guess. And you were just up there this past weekend, and I know you're going to have a special report on
Thursday morning, very first Thursday morning. And exciting news, I'm also hosting the Face the State segment on Sunday, June 21st. So there'll be some additional storytelling there with my Find Your Park series.
Well, there's my favorite way to take a break. I'm going to watch you having a good time.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to watch you doing weather.
All right, here we go with temperatures today into the 60s and 70s. Again, we have the influence of all this available moisture where we're seeing the showers and thunderstorms across the northern portion of the state here this morning. By this afternoon, again, these shaded areas, an indication of where we have the greatest potential for strong to severe storms. This is enhanced a little bit from where we were talking about yesterday, mainly because there's so much moisture left over from those areas of heavy rain we saw yesterday. Start off with some sunshine. It warms a lot of the temperatures up here through south central and southeastern Montana, northern Wyoming to the potential of 60s and 70s. That it starts to bring in more of those showers or thunderstorms. Here's our high resolution forecast. We take it through the day today and start to see these little hit and miss showers or thunderstorms just rush across the area. By 7 o'clock this evening, we're watching some of those start to move out towards you in Miles City, down towards Broadus, some pockets of some heavier rain. A lot of the area will be, as we've seen over the last couple of days, very hit and miss, but then you see these areas where we could start to see showers or thunderstorms form with these little pockets where we could have some hail producers out of this for this evening. Maybe about an inch-sized hail in a few locations, but really areas of heavy rain seem like the biggest hazard. Here we are by the time we get into tomorrow morning. Things have cleared out by tomorrow afternoon. They redevelop again later in the day, but tomorrow, less chance of strong to severe storms. Highs today into the 60s to 70s across the region. Sunshine with increasing afternoon clouds, and then that could develop into some of these showers and thunderstorms for later on into the day. Overnight, we'll be looking at readings dropping down mainly into the 40s. We'll look for some areas of patchy fog and scattered area evening showers or thunderstorms, but that'll start to end overnight. And tomorrow we'll be looking at 60s to 70s for the afternoon highs with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and still a chance of a shower or thunderstorm, but it starts to drop off just a bit. Today, a light wind, areas of rain could develop by this evening. Temperatures into the 70s over the next several days, could be warmer and drier by the weekend. Just coming up on 6:42. More after this on Montana This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Montana this morning. The time is now 6:44, and just take a look at this beautiful view there on your TV screen from our first Interstate Bank iCam. There you have downtown in front, and then back in the background, you had some beautiful mountains. How lucky are we here in Billings to have such a beautiful combination of everything in between? All right, well, we begin with national news this morning. Here are a few stories to keep your eye on throughout the day. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson is directing the TSA to retrain officers and retest security equipment following a brutal Inspector General report. Federal investigators disguised as passengers were able to sneak dangerous items past airport screeners 67 times in 70 attempts. Undercover agents smuggled mock explosives, weapons, and potential bomb components through TSA checkpoints. And meanwhile, the fate of a House-approved bill to reform the National Security Agency's controversial surveillance program is still unclear. Today, Senate lawmakers are expected to vote on amendments to the bill, which could then send the measure back to the House before it goes to President Obama. Amid the gridlock, some of the agency's surveillance methods remain on hold for a second day. The White House maintains the lapse is a danger to national security. And last, Secretary of State John Kerry is scheduled to have surgery at a Massachusetts hospital this morning on a broken femur. Secretary Kerry broke his leg Sunday while biking outside Geneva. Kerry was in the region for ongoing talks with Iran's foreign minister, as well as a planned visit to Spain and France. Before the procedure today, he's expected to participate via phone in a key conference on ISIS that's taking place in Paris. Turning now to local crime news. Police are searching for two armed robbery suspects who took money from a casino and the patrons inside near downtown Billings. It happened late last night, just before 11 o'clock at Gabby's Casino on 5th Street West. Witnesses say two males entered the casino with handguns and demanded money from an employee and patrons in the gambling room. Both males took off on foot with the cash. When police arrived, they were unable to identify or locate any suspects. We're told both suspects appear to be about 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed around 200 pounds. One suspect appeared to be a Caucasian male in his 20s with blonde hair. No injuries were reported, and anyone with any information is urged to contact the Billings Police Department. Now here's a follow-up to the tragic story of a young boy who lost his life after drowning in a culvert. The Yellowstone County coroner has identified the young Billings boy as 5-year-old Tristan Hunt. He fell into a ditch and became trapped in a culvert on Friday. Now friends of the family are coming together trying to help any way they can. A small memorial has started to form at Placer Drive and Teton Avenue, the location where Hunt was found. The 5-year-old, who is originally from Pennsylvania, was diagnosed with a condition called Russell-Silver syndrome, which is a form of dwarfism. Family friends are organizing a Tristan Hunt Memorial Fund at First Interstate Bank, and they will hold a car wash next weekend. We have a full listing of events to help the Hunt family on our website at KTVQ.com. Tristan's funeral will be held on Friday. And another update for you this morning. A Billings woman who was struck and killed while crossing the street last week has been identified. Yellowstone County Coroner Bill Jones says 33-year-old Stacy Ann Van Hoevenen died of severe blunt force trauma on Thursday night. It happened on Bench Boulevard in the Heights near Walmart. Police say the 18-year-old driver in the pickup truck drove through a puddle, and because there was water on the truck's windshield, he could not see the victim. The driver of the truck and his passenger were unharmed. The accident remains under investigation. We're also learning more about a woman killed in a weekend rollover crash in Dawson County. The deputy coroner has identified the woman as 22-year-old Leandra Baldwin. Baldwin was killed Saturday in the crash on Interstate 94 east of Glendive. Authorities said Baldwin was ejected from the vehicle during the crash. A Montana Highway Patrol trooper tells Q2 initial reports that an infant had also been ejected from the vehicle were incorrect. The infant was found inside the vehicle strapped in a car seat. A dog that was in the car and ran away from the scene of the crash has been found. Well, the Billings man who claimed he shot his girlfriend in the face by accident is out on bond as he entered a plea agreement to the crime. 27-year-old Christopher Gross pleaded guilty to felony criminal endangerment for the shooting last July that put his girlfriend in the hospital. The woman suffered a serious injury after she was shot in the chin but recovered. Gross, whose blood alcohol content level was 3 times the legal driving limit, says he was mad at the government, not his girlfriend, on the night of the shooting. Court documents state Gross was waving around a handgun and the firearm went off. Gross claimed he did not know the weapon was loaded. Looking into our economy, energy production in Montana has a new player. The PPL Corporation is no longer operating in the state. Talon Energy has taken over all of the PPL assets in Montana, including Colstrip power generating stations. Talon must also now dismantle the Corrette power plant here in Billings. This will make Talon Energy one of the largest independent power producers in the U.S. Talon Energy will begin trading on the New York Stock Exchange today, and CEO Paul Farr will ring the opening bell. And there's good news for the wallets of Northwestern Energy customers. The company is projecting lower rates for customers. The company has filed its annual electricity supply cost tracker, and lower rates could begin next month. Northwestern Energy anticipates the price of electricity, combined with more accurate overall costs, will lead to a price drop. The drop will be close to 3.5% or $3.10 per month. Speaking of money, the clock is ticking for the winner of a $10,000 lottery prize. Montana lottery officials say ticket number 054774 was sold at the Hardin Express Center last December, and so far no one has claimed the prize. It was part of the December 30th grand prize drawing. If you have the winning ticket, now is the time to come forward. June 30th is the last day you can make your claim. Lottery officials say if no one claims a prize by then, the money will go to the state's general fund. I was really hoping one of my friends in Hardin were the winners. Come on, guys, come forward. Well, switching gears, Indian relay is one of America's oldest sports, and now it's coming to Billings this September. Indian relays date back over 400 years to when the horse was first reintroduced to Native American cultures. Warriors race bareback and leap from one galloping horse onto another. Personally, it's one of my favorite rodeo events, and it's set to take place from September 17th to the 20th. Metro officials say they're excited to bring the sports championships to Billings. And last, as we tie up before we get to Ed, there's a recycling facility in Silicon Valley that's trying to trace a woman who dumped a rare Apple I computer which just sold to a private collector for $200,000. The company wants to give her a cut of the proceeds of $100,000. Now, the firm called Clean Bay Area said the woman dropped off boxes of old gadgets and e-waste 1 month ago, but didn't leave any contact information. The company said that the woman said her husband had passed away and that she decided to clean up their garage. Now, after searching through the boxes a few weeks later, the recycling manager found the item and arranged for a sale. Now, there's very few of these Apple computers that were made on the market, Ed. I understand there are just about 200 that were built, and there's only 50 that still exist. So this is a very rare item. And I also read that Apple founders Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak created that first Apple computer back in 1976. It's a very valuable item there. Hopefully that woman comes forward to claim her $100,000. It's a lot of money.
That is for sure. Now all of us are going to be going through and trying to go through our old junk and see if we've got anything that's worth anything at all. But 90% of the time, that's just not going to be the case.
Not at all. But one man's trash is another man's treasure. She obviously didn't realize what she had in her possession. So
that's for sure. Yeah, $100,000 or $200,000 for an old computer.
Oh yeah,
that won't even run anymore.
Right.
So
exactly.
if you're my age, you'll remember the name Tandy on the front of your PC. I just heard a sigh out of Russell. Here we go. We got showers, thunderstorms across the area. Potentially today, strong to severe storms again in these shaded areas, which will run from just south of Billings, extending over into the western Dakotas by the time we're later into the afternoon. Still have some showers and thunderstorms this morning along the northern portion of the state, with some rotation here around an upper low, where we have some areas where we're still seeing some lightning strikes. So some pockets of some heavier rain up towards the northern part of the state. Yesterday, of course, we had reports of some of the stronger storms producing very heavy rain in a short period of time. Harleton picks up about an inch of rain in less than about 15-20 minutes. We had areas around Hardin, Blue Creek with the potential for flash flooding last night. Saw some dramatic pictures from there. So this morning, still some of that heavy rain to the north. So there's a lot of available moisture to create some of these showers or thunderstorms as we take it through today. Now, as we watch through the afternoon, now most of these showers, thunderstorms will end here this morning across the northern part of the state and leave some stormy weather this afternoon into the Dakotas, here through south central Montana, some potential for some of those stronger storms. And overall cooler. Readings today will be into the 60s and 70s, replacing the 70s, 80s. Saw a couple of 90-degree readings yesterday afternoon in eastern Montana. So today, with less heat, there isn't quite as much lift in the atmosphere, but still enough to get some of these storms going. Going into tomorrow, we'll continue to watch this cold front sag across the region. So we're going to be mainly in the 60s for the highs tomorrow, and still stray showers or thunderstorms, but we're starting to lessen the potential for strong to severe storms Wednesday into Thursday as well. Still some moisture around, and areas of morning fog will continue to develop tomorrow morning, and that could continue a little bit this week as well. Temperatures running a little bit cooler than average by the time we get into Wednesday and Thursday. So over the course of the next 24 hours, we're going to be watching temperatures drop about 10 degrees cooler today than they were yesterday. Still some potential for thunderstorms around the region for this evening, and areas of fog could develop as we start getting into the morning hours. Showers or thunderstorms possible. Today, we're watching the northern portion of the state here early in the day, but already starting to see some of that weaken a bit. There's still some pretty good rainfall involved with some of this. 40s, 50s to 60s to get started. Glendive and Baker both at 61 degrees this morning, and that will translate into readings mainly into the 60s today with some 70s here, especially as we start looking here through south central and southeastern Montana. Some potential for some of these storms to be a bit stronger. Highs today into the 60s to 70s, a mix of clouds and sun. Clouds increasing by later in the day. Overnight readings tonight slip down mainly into the 40s. We'll see some area showers or thunderstorms for this evening, and then tomorrow we'll be looking for temperatures to start off 40s. Some areas of patchy fog early in the day, and then tomorrow 60s to 70s. The daytime highs. And a look at our extended forecast shows temperatures today moving up into the 70s with a mix of clouds and sun, scattered area showers and thunderstorms, and then 60s to about 70s, scattered area showers through the end of the week. There's a look at the weather. John has traffic.
Thank you very much, Ed. Good morning. This Road Watch update brought to you by Kitchens Plus. We do have a two-vehicle non-injury accident that's just reported just about 3 minutes ago. Shiloh and Rimrock, once again, two-vehicle. Actually, they are going to be sending an ambulance out there, so we'll call it a minor injury accident now. Shiloh and Rimrock, this is blocking traffic. Meanwhile, Elysian Road is closed west of Maloney Lane and about 1,000 feet east of Interstate Avenue. Local access being provided east of Interstate on Elysian Road. King Avenue East is under construction at Calhoun Lane intersection. Traffic detours will be in place with access maintained for all King Avenue East businesses and residents. And the City of Billings Street and Traffic Division is closed 8th Avenue South from South 31st to South 33rd till Thursday for street repairs. Detours will be in place. And once again, two-vehicle non-injury accident, but this is blocking traffic at Shiloh and Rimrock. That is a look at traffic. Let's head over to talk to our friends over here. And the big thing is the Eagles.
The Eagles
are coming to town.
And
you were just mentioning that they have quite a few hits, don't they?
They do. And what I want to do, I'm going to challenge you.
You are going to do it?
One of these nights, that song,
yeah.
I want you to hit the high note for us.
Oh my gosh. One of these crazy old nights.
Boy. He sounded like a howling dog.
Ed is a singer. Ed is a singer.
You are?
You're just a bass player.
No.
Just a bass player?
Just a bass player.
Just a bass player slash weatherman slash radio guy.
I can't sing. Why do you think I'm an announcer? I can't sing.
There are FCC regulations against us trying to sing on the air.
Almost violated them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
About the closed caption.
Temperatures moving into the mid to lower 70s for highs today, increasing clouds and a chance of showers or thunderstorms by the time we start getting later into the afternoon. So for some areas, this could be a repeat performance with some of these pockets of heavy rain. That seems like the biggest threat tonight. Could see some hail out of this. Certainly not large hail, an inch or smaller. And today is also leave the office early day.
That's what John's doing to get ready for
we'll
that.
see ya.
We're out of here.
Bye.
They did their
Look
part,
at those
Russell.
two.
Let's finish off the
All
show.
right, let's do it. It's been a heck of a good morning.
It has. We've had a lot of fun. So have fun, everyone, going to that Eagles concert tonight. Remember, arrive early. Patience, patience, patience when leaving that parking lot at the Metro. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2015. Welcome to CBS This Morning. Breaking news, a desperate race to rescue survivors heard screaming after a cruise ship capsized in China. Hundreds of feared dead.
The TSA's top administrator is out after airport screeners missed fake weapons or bombs nearly every time.
And country superstar Martina McBride joins us to fight back against sexism on the radio.
But we begin this morning with a look at today's eye-opener, Your World in 90 Seconds.
Hundreds of people still missing in that cruise ship disaster.
They're trying to burn their way into the vessel.
China racing to find survivors in a capsized